not eating well, they're not sleeping well.
Do you blame that to parasites?
Parasites play a role. Women have so many functions in society.
One first thing a woman should be careful about, what is it?
Your hormones are starting to change even as early as 35.
Welcome to Zenos Podcast. Today I have an extremely and very special guest to my heart, one of my favorite nutritionists worldwide, and that's Amy Shah. Extremely happy to have you with me.
Thank you so much for having me.
I had the pleasure to meeting you here in Saudi Arabia in person, and we're going to dig so much into what you do. So for the Arab people, let's know more about you. You are a nutritionist, famous for working more with hormones, and now we are having a hormone chaos as women.
Yes.
How do you see us women now?
Okay, so first of all, I went to nutrition school first, and then I thought, let me go to medical school because I can take my nutrition knowledge and bring it to patients in the office. But the way the American medical system is, there's almost no nutrition at all. You don't get taught nutrition in medical school, and when you see patients, it's not a big part of the conversation. Mm-hmm. And I thought this is especially true for women. Women need to learn about simple things that they can do with their nutrition, especially around the ages 30 to 50 when their hormones are just in chaos, in perimenopause. And so I started to really talk more about nutrition and gut health because I think that's a place we don't talk enough about.
But why do you think women are getting in that hormonal chaos at that early?
Okay,
what has shifted?
Yeah,
what happened?
Most people think that one day in your 50s, that's it, you hit menopause.
Yeah.
And before that, everything's great. And after that, you have no hormone. But what happens is there is a decline in your hormones that starts in your 30s. And it's not just a decline. It's like up and down, like a roller coaster. Mm-hmm. So 1 month you can feel great. The next month you can feel so tired. The third month you can feel, there's all kinds of symptoms that happen. And people don't know that. I know that most women that I talk to, they're surprised when I say your hormones are starting to change even as early as 35. And
but is this to everyone?
Everyone.
Okay.
In their between 35 and 45, 40. Yeah. You're basically changing, your hormones are changing. And then they slowly start to go down so much that then you hit menopause. Menopause means you have not had any menstrual cycle for 1 full year. Yeah. And that's the menopause. But the 8 to 10 years before that,
you're in prep.
Mm-hmm. And that's where I think women don't feel supported about what to do. Like, you feel helpless. And so one of the things I talked about is, hey, we have to understand nutrition. We have to understand that we have an entire trillions of organisms inside of us that can help us through this time. So how to take care of those organisms.
Let me ask you a question. I think most of the girls and women out there watching us, they would love to know, are we able to delay menopause?
Okay. Not per se. However, people who are healthier, better gut health, better exercise, better diet, seem to go into menopause later. Meaning that many cultures, many people that are able to have very healthy lifestyles, very healthy diets, they tend to maintain their hormones longer.
But if I ask you about one first thing a woman should be careful about, what is it?
The number
for the
one
delay
thing,
of the menopause.
Yes, if you are really wanting to live a long life with good hormones, the one thing I would say is that we don't do is take care of our gut. Mm-hmm. Okay, so that trillions of organisms, they need food. They need fiber. Mm-hmm. They need probiotic foods, like fermented foods. Yeah. They need protein. And most people are not getting, women especially. What happens is in your 30s, 40s, you have a family. Many of people are working outside the home. Many of them have been many responsibilities. So they're not eating well. They're not sleeping well.
But
They're
do
not.
we blame that to parasites?
Parasites play a role.
Because when we feed the bacteria, we feed the good
Yes.
and the bad.
Yes, we feed the good and the bad. So when we are rushing and we're not sleeping and we're eating a lot of sugar and we're drinking a lot of alcohol, around the world, you end up killing those good bacteria and growing the bad ones. And that ends up giving us hormonal problems because this gut is the one who's responsible for the hormones. So if you want better hormone balance, I would say to a woman, the first thing you should do is fix your gut. That means better food. You need
More minerals.
more minerals, fix your deficiencies, get more exercise, sleep more, and control your stress.
But like minerals are extremely important when we're talking about hormones.
Yes.
Let's get that straight because a lot of people don't know that if they do just a normal blood work, they can't really tell the level of the minerals they have in their body.
Yes.
How can we control that? How can we know what should we take and how much should we take?
Yes.
Because the factory of the making of those hormones, it was right above the kidney. It's too tiny,
Yes.
but it's extremely important for women. So what would help?
That's such a good question. So there's a few vitamins and minerals that have been very well studied. One is magnesium. Magnesium, they've actually seen that people who have higher diets in magnesium for women, especially, have better hormonal health, have better brain health, can actually anti-age, slow the brain aging by having enough magnesium because it actually does so many things in our body. Supports hormones and so many other things. So we know that eating more magnesium or supplementing with it, 550 milligrams of magnesium has been shown to slow the aging of the brain.
But which magnesium?
So yes, that's a very good
That's
question.
very important.
So what happens is in the studies, when they looked at the studies, they looked at the total intake. So it can be from food. But if you're taking it by supplemental form, I like for women magnesium bound to glycine, so magnesium glycinate. This glycine helps absorb and get to the brain area, which helps calm anxiety and helps with sleep, which is a lot of people struggle with that. So magnesium glycinate can be a very nice way to not only get your magnesium levels up, it's very absorbable, but it also has a side effect of calming you down and relaxing.
That's perfect. So
Yes.
basically sleeping is part of the preparations for
Yes.
a late menopause.
Yes.
Okay.
Sleeping,
Because
stress.
people skip sleeping. They don't know the importance of sleeping over their hormones.
So every one of our hormones works on circadian rhythm. So this is the light and dark cycle that we live on, the sun and the night. And so when we disrupt the night and dark in our bodies, it disrupts our hormone function. Yeah. And so people who are staying up very, very late.
When we say very, very late, what is that very,
Okay.
very late?
So
Because for some, 3 a.m. is not late.
I know. Yeah, especially some parts of the world, people are eating.
Especially
Today's episode is brought to you by Zenos, the science-backed longevity brand that is redefining what modern health can look like. Every formula is built with clinical doses, standardized extracts, and real research, not the fairy dust you see in most supplements. From mood and metabolism support to cellular and gut health, Zenos blends ancient compounds with cutting-edge clinical science. If you care about living longer, living better, you'll want to explore what real formulation looks like. Learn more at zenoshealth.com.
in the Arab world, they're used, especially in the Gulf, they're used to sleeping very late.
Yes. And the problem is that our circadian rhythms work with the sun. And so eating at midnight is not good for your hormones and for your gut. Because our bodies, no matter what your preferences are, they're going to work on night and day. Meaning when there's light, your body turns on all of the functions. And then when it gets dark, about 8 p.m. or 9 p.m., it starts to slow down the functions. And whether you like it or not, if you're a night owl or not, that is how your body functions. And so by midnight, you have very little insulin function, less GI gut function. So when you're eating a big meal, you're going to get indigestion, you're going to get hormonal dysfunction, you're going to have trouble sleeping, you're going to have all kinds of...
Now they're going to like that. They're going to say, oh, we can eat until 12 a.m.
Yeah,
no, you cannot.
It's like they've done many, many studies on many different people. Around 8 p.m. in most of the world, you start to slow down your system. So having as much as you can eat before 8 p.m. is great. And as close to 10 p.m. that you can sleep on many days, the better it is for your circadian rhythm. Now, I know not everyone can sleep at 10 p.m., but that is ideal because we get a boost of growth hormone when we're sleeping. Between 10 and 11. Yeah. And so you miss that window, and then...
And growth hormone is the major factor for everyone.
And if you want to look young, if you want to feel young, all of those, it's like the youth hormone. When they say beauty sleep, that's what they mean.
That's what it is.
Yeah. So if you sleep very late, you're going to miss that window.
Let's explain more about dinner.
Yes.
People think that dinner is forbidden.
No.
It's not about the foods you eat. It's the quality. It's about what your body does, what the job it has between 8 and 4 a.m.
Yes. So one of the things I always tell people is that you want to move after you eat, especially dinner. Mm-hmm. So after you eat dinner, that's why you don't want to eat too late, because you can't move. If you're eating dinner at 2 a.m., you're not going to go out for a walk, So eating an early dinner as early as you can, and then going for a walk. Actually, the walk that you do after dinner is twice as effective as just taking a walk at any other time, because that after dinner walk is helping your blood sugar, your insulin, all your other hormones metabolize that food. And so it's very important to keep a space between
Let's share how long this walk should be.
It doesn't need to be long. I mean, you can get results with even a 10 to 15 minute walk. Okay. It doesn't need to be long, but it is because of the timing that is so important, because when you do it after a meal, you can start to really mobilize that food where it needs to go, so that when you go to bed, it is not like, your blood sugar is super elevated.
Okay, so talking about hormones. There's so many things going on social media, a lot of people giving tips. What do you think is the best mineral a woman should take? Is it trace minerals? Is it magnesium only? Is it a mixture of many minerals? What is the best mineral
to support
hormone?
I'm a huge fan of magnesium. I think trace minerals are also very, very important. I think the one I would say magnesium is my favorite. Now, if you're talking about broadly about vitamins and minerals, I would say vitamin D, omega-3, magnesium, and then electrolytes like trace minerals are also very important. But the data is the highest for magnesium, vitamin D, and omega-3s. Okay. So if for a woman especially who isn't having enough in her diet of those things, you need to increase it or add some supplements to it.
We usually do everything for longevity. Mm-hmm. But is there a way to is there a secret pill for longevity for our ovaries?
I wish. There is no secret. So what we understand is that ovaries, actually, surprising fact, there's only a few animals in the entire world, just humans and whales, a couple of 3 species, that can live even when their ovaries are done. So for most animals, once their ovaries are done creating eggs and they kind of involute, the animal dies. It's very, very rare for an organism to live 20, 30 years past the time that the ovary is in pretty much dead, right? So it's not dead, it still has blood flow, but it's not doing the function that it's meant to be doing, right? So this is very unique to humans. And we think that it's because evolutionarily, a woman in a culture is still useful to the family, to the child, and to the grandchild, even after she has been done with reproduction. And so we think that the reason why we are one of the only species that lives past that is because women has so many functions in society, and that and so yes, we want to extend as much as we can, but there is a whole life after that.
But how can we lower the percentage of all the side effects after menopause? I've seen many women that have absolutely no side effects, no hot flushes, nothing after reaching to their menopause. But some
have
huge.
Okay,
what is the major factor? Is it psychological or?
Some of it is genetic. Okay. It's just like puberty. For example, some children and girls they have very bad acne and they have very bad, symptoms, and others you barely don't know. So it's the same thing. But diet plays a huge role. Exercise plays a huge role, meaning that someone who has really good gut health, who's eating very well, who's sleeping, who's exercising daily, their symptoms are going to be very different had they not done those things.
So that also affects menopause.
Yes.
So basically, they can delay the menopause if they lead a better lifestyle.
Well, that's what the research is really looking at. So like I told you, they've seen that many cultures that are very healthy, eat very good foods, they have a later menopause. And many cultures, there's certain groups in the US, for example, that have very early menopause. And so they're trying to figure out what it is. Right now in medicine, they have not figured out how to slow menopause, but we can assume that in the future we will know, because we know that a lowering inflammation in your body can extend that a little bit. We know that, taking care of your body can help, but there's no, it's not proven yet that anyone can delay it.
We might get there because we're working on longevity.
Yes.
Maybe this is one of the main factors of
it is, exactly. I mean, and that's something all women, if you're a woman in your teens, 20s, 30s, one of your biggest goals should be to prepare your body so that you can keep your ovaries and your gut healthy so that you don't have severe symptoms. For example, people who smoke a lot, people who drink alcohol, they have very, very difficult menopause because of their habits. So there's definitely some habits that can really help you if you stop doing those. And then, but what we don't know yet is, can we keep the ovary fresh and happy for long past when it was going to? We think so, but right now medical studies do not support any one kind of medicine or diet to get there.
We do detox.
Yes.
All sorts of detox. Whether water detox, juices that I don't really believe in.
No.
But we never thought of detoxifying. We detoxify our liver, gut, but we never know, or we've never heard of a detox for our organs. Like
ovaries.
Ovaries.
Yeah, it's true. And so the one thing I know for sure is in the research.
So what would be a good detox for the ovaries?
What we know from the research is that the gut and the ovaries talk a lot. So that when you build up the bacteria in your gut, you have better communication. So they're talking all the time, but the communication will get better as your gut health gets better. So we do know that you can help your menopause, perimenopause symptoms by building up that gut bacteria. So eating more. So every culture has fermented foods. Every culture in the world. But very few people eat fermented foods anymore.
Yeah. And the one they find in the market is pretty
bad. So every culture in the world, we have fermented foods because that's how they used to preserve foods. Yeah. We need to get back to that because having a little bit of fermented food is building up that bacteria.
What do you think about kimchi?
I love it.
Yeah.
Kimchi is a great probiotic food, but even something as simple as yogurt.
Yeah.
The longest living woman in the world is 117 years old. She just passed away from Spain. She ate 3 cups of yogurt every day.
Wow.
With all the bacteria. And so,
Well, where can we get that?
yeah, so
The problem is that in the food industry.
I know. And here's the thing, we have to get back to eating more fermented foods. So I always say, so in the US, for example, there are stores that are learning that people want this. So they will keep kimchi, for example, sauerkraut, and other pickled vegetables that are fermented. So pickled doesn't always mean fermented.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm going to say.
But they put if it's in the refrigerator and they ferment it, then that is something that you can eat. But things like if it's hard for people, then traditional yogurts have good bacteria. Cottage cheese, kefir.
Kefir, yeah.
Yes,
Kefir
it is such a good.
And I think everyone can do it at home if
yes.
they find that mushroom. It's
Yes.
very easy.
Yes. So that is a great one. And then raw apple cider vinegar.
Before meals.
Yes. And that not only does that help your blood sugar, but that can be a probiotic.
So we, a lot of people don't know what's good and what's bad. And when we talk about diet, that's why I hate the word diet. And when they tell me I want to go on a diet, now it's like, this is the worst thing you can ever do. Because they don't know what's the definition of diet. Diet is balance. And they go with the trends.
Yes.
Today, it's a trend of, let's say, keto diet, protein diet. Let's talk about women. What is the best form of diet for women? Because we're not talking a specific person with specific problems. We're talking in general.
Yes. Well, guess what? I just wrote a book, and
Wow.
it's coming out in February.
Okay.
And in it, I give a framework. It is called the 30-33. 30 grams of protein in your food.
This podcast is powered by Zenos, supplements designed with real ingredients that actually work. No underdosing, no fillers, just real standardized compounds backed by longevity research. Try Mood Zen, Burn Zen, Cell Zen, or Gut Zen, and experience the difference that science makes.
First meal. So that doesn't need to be right when you wake up, but whenever you have your first meal. 30 grams of fiber throughout the day. And 3 probiotic foods. So 1 spoon of kimchi or 1 spoon, half a cup of yogurt, that's all considered probiotic. If you are someone who really wants to take care of your health, especially women, especially in that 30s all the way through their 60s time frame, that framework can help you because it's not a diet. You don't have to, buy anything special, no powders or pills or injections.
And wonder what probiotic to get.
Right. Yeah. It's literally the food that you eat is structured to help your body.
And talking about probiotics, there's a lot of probiotics out there where they're sold off shelf, not refrigerated. They say that they contain 200 billion. They actually contain less than 2 billion. People that don't really know, how can they choose the right probiotic for them?
That's such a great question. Okay, so this is one question I was asking for myself. One thing I want to make sure that people do is make sure that if you do take a probiotic, make sure that it's tested, third-party tested, not just tested by the own company, but they send it to a lab to verify that how many billions that the
But a lot of people don't know how to see that.
Because if your brand doesn't say third-party tested, then you don't know, right? Yeah. So when they tested, they took like Amazon, for example. Amazon, they tested 10 different probiotics, and 8 out of 10 didn't have what it said. Yeah. So you really do have to get one that have really good quality. But the only way you'll know that, I think, is that if it's tested for its efficacy and for its ingredients. And so I always say that, okay, if you know the person, great. But if you want to be able to trust a company, they need to be third-party verified so that somebody else who's not in their company can verify that what's in there is in
And they
there.
have to make sure that the pharmacist or wherever they
Yes.
get them, they tell them that you have to keep that probiotic in the fridge.
Fridge.
That means this
Yes.
is a living bacteria.
Yes.
What is the amount of good bacteria and the stem of the good bacteria that we should be intaking?
Okay, so here's the truth, and I hate to say this, it sounds so sad.
Yeah, it is.
But we in modern world, all of us, have about 50% less bacteria diversity than our ancestors. And that's because we use antibiotics and we use very harsh cleaners, and we're not eating as many different types of fibers. A lot of our food doesn't have any fiber. So we need to rebuild some of that bacteria, because guess what? The bacteria that we have, we pass it to our children.
Of course.
So they have less. Then if they're not being healthy, then over the generations, it goes down and down. You get more disease, you get more illness. And so one of the things I say is eating fiber, which feeds the bacteria, helps them grow, but eating probiotic foods 3 times a day. That's the goal. If you can get 1, great. If you can get 2, but the goal is 3. So it might be 1 yogurt for breakfast. Maybe it's kimchi a little bit at lunch. And then maybe it's some raw apple cider vinegar in your dressing or in your salad or right before your meal for dinner or something like that, or something traditional. Every culture, like I said, has some traditional fermented foods. Having that, I'm sure you guys do. Do you have or eating kefir,
Kefir,
in the evening? I mean, those.
What do you think about the kefir in the market?
It depends. When I was in Bulgaria,
Yeah, we are the best in probiotics.
there
We
was
are the
so many
best.
choices.
Oh my God, yeah.
We just went to a regular place, and I was like, oh my gosh, there's so many choices with live bacteria.
Surprisingly, we have the best stems of the good bacteria, like Lactobacillus bulgaricus.
Yes. And in these fermented dairy products are
Yeah.
such a great way to add that. And if you add that a little bit every day, actually, people can fix their lactose intolerance by eating that every day. So there's people who can't do dairy because they don't have.
Very nice point, because a lot of people think they get their intolerance because they were born with it.
Yes.
But it's not like that.
But you can actually fix it by
Reverse it, yeah.
having a little bit of fermented dairy every day.
But do you believe in parasite cleansing and biofilm cleansing?
I don't say that there is no parasites. I do think there is such a thing as parasites, but I don't really do parasite cleanses because of my training was very traditional. And I know that there are people whose gut bacteria are very imbalanced, but I usually treat it through other means and not the cleanse.
Not the cleanse. And you don't do biofilm cleansing?
No.
Because we usually take a lot of nanoplastic through our food.
Yes.
We take nanoplastic even from what we wear.
Yes.
A lot of people don't know that while they're going to work out, they're actually
Plastic pants.
Yes. Plastic pants. So, and now all the studies are showing that parasites, one of the main reasons for cancer.
Yeah.
What is your opinion over that?
So, it's so hard to say because, with cancer, there are so many different things that
Stress
are
is the number one cause.
Stress is the number one cause. And we know, I know for sure that our modern lifestyles, so many things that we're doing is contributing to cancer. But can I say that I think parasites are the main cause? No, but I think they contribute. I think these all contribute to it. It's like, we have friends that are oncologists, cancer specialists, and they said that they never used to see people in their 30s and 40s get a cancer. It was so rare that you would, be so surprised. And now it's every week.
Yeah. And that's because of all
the burden, all the things that we're
doing.
All
the things we're eating, all the processed food, sugar is everywhere. So we are feeding that cell nonstop.
Because we all have, some cancer cells that are constantly being killed by our immune system. Yeah. But if our immune system is not strong, if your gut is not strong, if you're not eating the right foods, it could just trigger that.
What would strengthen our immunity?
Yeah. So
Yeah, I know
immune.
it's like a lot of things.
No, it's immune. The immune system is located in our gut. It's the main area. I mean, it goes everywhere,
Yeah.
but that's where it gets strengthened. So the communication between your gut and your immune system is the most critical. So, for example, if you want to boost your immune system, there's no real food, there's no real one thing that you can do, but boosting your gut health can help that. One thing I think is very, very good at helping support the immune system is vitamin D. Vitamin D, especially if you're deficient,
And
getting
most people are deficient in
yes,
vitamin D.
supporting your vitamin D levels can really help.
People get messed up. Should they take a small amount of vitamin D, like around 1,000 to 3,000 IUs per day, or should they take a big dose per week?
Okay, so it depends. So, for example, I'll tell you my story. I have always been deficient in vitamin D, even though, I think I eat pretty well. And so I started to take, large dose, like 5,000 IUs a day. And
That's still okay.
still okay, but I would have it also in a few supplements I was taking. There was a couple of things. And my levels became very high. Vitamin D, you have to be careful because it is a fat-soluble hormone vitamin. So if you take it with food and then you take it somewhere else, you can get your levels too high by supplementing. So I say if you don't know your levels, stay between like 1,000 and 3,000. If you checked your levels and they're very low, then
You can go
doing
for
large,
large, meaning 10 per week?
10 per week, yes.
10,000
or more.
IUs
Yeah.
per week.
And you could do 5,000 even a day orally,
Yeah.
and more, depending on how bad your deficiency is.
And how bad is your gut?
Yes, exactly.
Because some we take a very high dosage, but they're not absorbed.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's what happened to me is that as my gut started to improve, I started to absorb a
absorption.
lot
Yeah,
too
I love
much.
that.
So that can happen. So with vitamin D, it really does. Every person should get their vitamin D level checked.
And how do we detoxify ourselves? We do think we're detoxifying our body by drinking juices, which I don't agree with.
Yeah.
But how would we detoxify? What is the fastest way to detoxify on a cell level?
So there's a couple things. Fasting,
Okay.
exercise,
Is
sauna.
everyone a candidate of fasting?
No. So I think everybody is a candidate for short fasting. So
What is short fasting?
Short fasting is how it was in traditional times for every single culture. Every single culture in the world, after sundown, you didn't eat too much. You ate,
So
but
traditional Muslim
yes,
fast.
like most people, eat, you have to give your body a break from food for, a certain number, between 12 and 14 and 15 hours to give your body a break from food. And that naturally helps your body. It's like this. I always give the mnemonic of like, if people are coming to your door and ringing your doorbell nonstop, you keep going and opening them and greeting those guests, you never can really clean up. You're just like, I got to wait till everybody stops coming to be able to clean up. So there's a cellular process called autophagy, where the cells do deep cleaning of themselves, but they can't do it if you're constantly eating. They wait till no food has entered the system for a long time.
Here we go back to dinner. That's why dinner
That's right.
is not okay.
Yes, that's why you really don't want to do a late, heavy dinner.
Yeah.
You want to be able to give your body a big rest during
So it
those.
can finish its work.
Yes, so it can clean out the cell
clean
and
out the
detox.
Okay, but talking about fasting, we as Arabs, we fast for 1 month every year.
Yes.
But the problem is, after those 14 hours, what happens? we have like sufras.
Yes.
We have those mezas, we have cold starters, hot
Yes.
starters. We have the dessert after the meal. If we want to call the people out there who are going to be fasting this year, what would be the best way for them to fast and help their body cleanse?
Yes.
How would that be?
That's such a great question. So, all the fasting studies were done, many, many, many of these were done on Ramadan, during Ramadan, to see the benefits of fasting, because those benefits happen even if you're eating a big meal
I know.
after. But of course, you want to maximize your
Maximize the
results.
results.
And so when you actually start to break your fast, you don't want to break your fast with something super sweet, like a sweet or dessert right away. There's very good data that starting with some kind of soup or fiber, like a salad, soup salad, can help with the blood sugar. It's not something very sweet right to start with.
What do you say about starting or breaking the fast with a date, as we all do here as Arabs?
As long as, so the date is actually one of the few things that are actually seen to be very good for your blood sugar. You would think the amount of sugar that is in a date would spike your blood sugar, but it doesn't.
It would not. If it's 1 or 3.
Yes, exactly.
Not 10, 15. You know?
Not exactly. One.
Let's be honest, the supplement world is full of noise. So when I discovered Zenos, what stood out to me was the science. Every formula is created by expert formulators, using the ingredients and exact dosage found in research, not the cheap stuff that most brands get away with. Their saffron extracts, their adaptogens, and their longevity blend. Everything is standardized, tracked, and optimized for real results. If you want supplements that match your commitment to long-term health, check out Zenos.
1, 2, or 3. Yeah. Let's not go overboard. And then if you're doing a dessert, that's just made with dates, that doesn't count either, because that's going to be refined sugar.
No, we have plenty.
Yes.
After dinner, we have plenty.
Yeah, so the sweets, I definitely think that the sweets should be timed, especially also any carbohydrate-rich foods. They should be timed to be a little bit after you've started eating, because our blood sugar will spike. And so we want to eat foods in order so that the sweets come last. And so you can break it with a couple of dates.
So that we don't spike the blood sugar.
Yes, but then you don't want to just start eating everything. Like, you want to start eating with the healthy foods with protein and fats first, protein, fats, and fiber, and then leave the sweets for the end.
It does do a very big difference.
Yes.
It has a very big difference.
You'll feel less fatigued the next day.
Most people have lunch and they want to fall asleep after
Yes.
that. They're tired.
Yes.
They feel energetic the first 20, 30 minutes, and then everything is gone. They're hungry again.
Yes.
That's, again, because of the order of the food, right?
Yes. And our blood sugars have such a big play into our energy levels. So when your blood sugar is even, you feel energetic. But when it spikes during something heavy and sweet and then it falls, you feel that 3 o'clock slump.
What is the best thing to start a day with?
So most people are starting their day with coffee or tea, right? Which you should wait. Actually, what I always say is that don't just roll out of bed and have your first caffeine, tea, or coffee. A lot of people do that, right? You want to let your brain actually detox itself of, there's a buildup of adenosine in your brain, and it needs an hour or two at least to clear out. And so wait till that happens. And you also get a natural cortisol boost in the morning that wakes you up. And so you want to wait till that dies down before having your tea or coffee.
And does coffee really affect your insulin level?
Well, both. Okay.
Because by boosting the cortisol.
Yes. Yes, it affects your insulin too.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. Both coffee and tea have been shown over the years to be extremely beneficial for the body. It's just you have to time it right and not put all kinds of sweeteners and...
So if you want to use the benefits of coffee,
yes,
what would be the dosage and when?
Yes, okay. So studies for longevity have actually seen that 3 to 5 small cups, so not like the big, huge...
But what kind of coffee? Is it like the Arabic coffee?
Oh, yes.
Is it
so,
American?
Light roast
Light roast
is the best one. Also, tea is very, very good. I know that tea is super popular. That also is shown to lengthen life. Longevity is associated. I mean, it's
the black tea or the green tea?
Both.
Okay.
It's so surprising.
We know, I don't know if the people are watching us know, they both come from the same tree.
Yes. But black tea, I think, is much more common.
Yeah.
And surprisingly has benefits as well. Coffee too. Are you a coffee drinker or tea drinker?
I'm a coffee drinker.
Yeah.
I'm a heavy coffee, but I don't drink a lot. I have maximum 2 cups a day.
Yeah, so 2 cups, and is it 2 large cups or
No,
two
no,
small?
no, just two.
Yeah, so they've seen up to 3 to 5 of those is associated with longevity. And so what we think is happening is that there's polyphenols inside the coffee beans that you're intaking, and it's almost like an anti-inflammatory for your body. And so I love it. You just have to watch the sugar. People put a lot of sugar and additives. In America, there's all kinds of like things that you can put in
That's
there.
not coffee anymore. It's a dessert.
It's exactly. That's not the healthy one.
Yeah, because
It's,
they say, can I have a coffee a day? I was like, you can have, what is your coffee? A frappuccino?
No.
Okay, that's a dessert.
yeah, that's not a coffee. That's a dessert. And it's so funny because I used to like coffee, but I realized I didn't really like coffee. I liked all the stuff that's in
That's
there.
in it.
But I like tea. I like tea a lot.
But what do you think of matcha? It's been so in and trendy. And some people don't even like it, but they still take it because it's a trend.
And actually, it's causing iron deficiency anemia.
Yeah.
So when you drink matcha, it stops the absorption of iron, blocks the absorption of iron. So there's been many cases, especially women are so iron deficient. 1 in 3 women, menstruating women, have iron deficiency, and then
But
they're
why
drinking.
is it? Why is the iron? Is it because of the iron, or is it due to lack of other minerals or vitamins in your body?
Probably a combination of both.
Of both.
And then if you do things like drink a lot of matcha, you're blocking iron absorption from the foods that you're eating, and so you can really exacerbate it. So people who are addicted to matcha, they actually can land in the hospital.
There was a trend about matcha, and all the benefits of matcha and how you should be drinking nothing but matcha. And then all of a sudden another trend, don't drink matcha, your hair is going to fall off. You're going to get bald. I think it's the two extremes, right?
Yes, it's because of the iron deficiency. Because hair loss has a lot to do with mineral and vitamin
But
deficiencies.
what is the amount of matcha you should be intaking to lose your hair? I mean,
I mean, you'd have to have 3 or more a day.
Yeah.
If you're having 1, you're good.
you're good.
Yeah.
Okay, I can talk to you forever, but I
Yes.
wanted to ask one last question. Food and skin. A lot of people think that skincare is the reason for the glow in your skin.
No,
It's what you eat.
it's what you eat.
And what is it that you eat that makes your skin glow?
Yeah, because I think anything you put on top of your skin is just
Not even getting in.
yeah, it's not even, it's like getting through a couple layers and maybe going into your bloodstream slightly. But when you actually eat foods and your own body is creating those collagens, and that is the real.
If we want to build up a protocol together today for skin glow and hormonal balance, what would that include?
Okay, so I'm going to go back to that 30-33. If someone's like, okay, I want to have my skin glowing and I want to really improve my gut health and I want to be looking better, 30 grams of protein in your first meal, 30 grams of fiber throughout the day, and 3 probiotic foods. I'm telling you, our gut changes within 3 days of eating. And that can change the way you think, the way you look, and the way you feel.
And how about bone broth?
Oh, I'm a fan. Yeah.
Is that a good start?
source of protein, collagen.
Collagen.
Yes.
Thank you so much. I am extremely honored to have you with me today. And I think the girls out there are going to have so many benefits. Looking forward to meeting you again.
I'm so excited. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. Thank you.